Hello, this is Super Normal Grandpa. You can call me Sup. Sup, today is Freedom Lawn. I need to mow my lawn really bad, and I want to show you the lawn before I mow it. Freedom Lawn is a lawn that's free from a lot of things. Number one, it's free from mowing. Let me start showing you the lawn if I don't mess this up. Hey, where's my picture? There's my picture. This is a very pretty flower in my yard. I don't know what it is, but the hummingbirds love it. And the bees love it too. This is a little garden I got going in the Freedom Lawn. Freedom Lawn is mostly free of grass, if you might notice. That's the goal, to get rid of the grass. But we got here there's a little, what I call a cemetery flower, because it came from the cemetery. When people put their flowers over there, their seeds end up over here. Thank you very much, I love it. We go around here. It's just part of the yard. This is my secret garden in here. It's not overgrown yet, so it's not secret. But in about a couple of weeks, this nice little spot here will be a lonely place you can hang out in. Here's some spring flowers. These have been feeding the bees for a couple of weeks now. Here's dead fall flowers. It's cool. You get to feed the bees in the spring and the fall. Got a lot of dandelions to show you. I like the weeds growing. Nothing special there. Here's where we planted some grass yesterday. Though it's not really grass, it's just sod that comes off the top of the stones around my yard. But it makes a good start to cover this fern garden up. Ferns are just coming in. I'm sure the ferns are going to kill off all my nice weeds that I'm trying to plant here, but that's okay. We'll let them battle it out. Neighbors are starting their music. There's a nice weed growing in the middle of my raspberry patch. There's a raspberry. There. Somewhere on the camera will be a raspberry. More raspberries over here. These are wild raspberries. Great for eating and adding to your breakfast. Do you hear the woodpecker? He's up there trying to chop my tree down. It's a very tall tree. And there he is. If you can see him, just on the side of that littlest branch. He's on the side of it there. Here's another cemetery flower. They're pretty in the spring. The nice thing is they don't bother the raspberries. And the raspberries don't bother them, because when the raspberries fill this all up, those flowers will be gone anyway. This is a lilac bush. No lilacs yet, but they're wonderful. I don't know what this is. It has really pretty leaves in the fall though. Here's why my lawn needs mowing. Some pretty nasty stuff growing around here. And this is an area that I don't like because it's more grass than weed. Going over here, this is a meadow. It's only like 10 feet by 10 feet. It doesn't look like much now, but in the fall it'll be full of bee food and butterfly food. And you'll see there's grass in here. And there's all kinds of things you can use. One thing a Freedom Lawn is free from is sides, insecticides, herbicides, any kind of chemical stuff to control your lawn. Like there's ups you could use. Here's an example of a pull-up. Get rid of that grass when it's growing in the middle of your meadow. Don't like that grass. See, a little pull-up. Got to get the roots though. There's other ups you can use. There it is. It's going to die there. This is a house-sized bee feeder in the spring. These flowers are half gone now. Here's some of my little blue flowers. They're all over the lawn. What you do in a Freedom Lawn is you don't mow these until they go to seed. After they go to seed, you mow them. And you got to mow the grass around them. So as you're mowing, you avoid some spots where the flowers are growing. Here's a nasty piece of grass. What do you do about that? There's a bunch of ups you can use, and you don't need to support the chemical industry by buying any dig up. Right here, use a dig up. but that's a mess. We don't want to use dig up either. Can't use chop up. That's for other things that you need to get rid of. Cut up's useful. All kinds of cool things. This one needs a simple cover. That'll pretty much take care of that one. In a few weeks, I'll move that and cover something else up. Now, I don't know what the names of flowers are, and you could comment down below if you want to educate me. This is what I call blue balls. This is a garden of blue balls. And if you look closely at this one, something has been eating it. What is eating my blue balls? There's flowers on that, except some skunk comes along and eats it. I do like the skunks. There's more of that house-sized bush. It got snowed on real bad. Normally it would be about this high, but it got snowed on and the snow crushed it. I'm sure it'll grow back this summer. Here's the start of my best moss garden. Moss is my favorite plant. Zoom in a little bit on that moss and dandelion. And this is pretty much over here is my best moss garden. There's moss everywhere. When I mow this, I will just mow the grass and leave the moss go. Makes mowing a lot easier when you're not mowing everything. Here's a little weed growing, bunch of weeds. I don't know what they are, but it will be a flower patch sometime this year. This is my worst part of my lawn that needs the most mowing. It's an area the size of a garage. And I do have to mow this more often than anything else. What I'm trying to do, and speaking of woodpeckers, I've got, the neighbors tell me it's a woodpecker, but I think it's a dinosaur, pterodactyl or something. I still haven't seen it, because if you'll notice, that's my house, and it doesn't like me to watch it. It's got a brand new hole starting down here. Look what it's doing to my dead tree. And what worries me a little bit is the electric company has been so smart as to use this tree to hold their electric pole, which I don't know. But one thing about it looks like pulp, but that dinosaur that's digging in here, this is hard, solid wood. I don't think a woodpecker could get in there. Anyway, oh here, this is hard to see. It's a patch of fall flowers. See the fall flowers here? There we go. I'm just helping them spread its seeds a bit. So we didn't know this patch. And by fall, there will be a patch as big as the camera's viewing right now that will be that pretty flower. I think it's a blue flower. More dandelions. Dandelions are a sign of an unhealthy lawn. Dandelions mean you have poor soil. Here's my purple flower garden. These purple flowers will be really pretty in the fall. Right now they're just a discolored brown looking area of the ground. But they are very pretty flowers. And they like to be neighbors of the blue flowers. Dandelions like to go everywhere. Now I don't have that many dandelions, do I? You see all the dandelions down there? This is my dandelion garden. This is like an area of the lawn that must be very poor in soil quality, mostly clay. But what dandelions do is they will dig deep roots into that clay. The worms will go in there, air will go in there, all kinds of fun stuff. Here's another one of them yellow bushes next to a fall flowering bush. They're pretty, and there's also a grapevine in here. I'll show you the grapevine. This is a bird feeder. These are wonderful bird feeders. They love it a lot more than some box hanging in the air, fighting with the squirrels over it. You just pile your sticks down. When you got trees all over your yard that are 80 feet tall, you got to do something with the sticks. I burn them in the fireplace, and I burn them in the fire pit right here. Here's another cemetery flower that's nice to sit next to while you're cooking out. And today, let me show you the other bird feeder. These are also a bird feeder, though they're really firewood. But every once in a while, you knock one over, and then there will be a few birds fighting over it tomorrow. This is the best bird feeder I got, but it's old and I have to burn it up, and it'll be a bare patch of grass and weeds by fall. There's a stick garden. We'll talk about that some other time. What I like to do with my stumps is I like to let the trees grow next to the stumps. And you get a nice tree. If you have a dead tree, you have to cut down. Here's a baby tree that was probably a baby of the stump. And one thing I don't like is here, there's been some animal digging the roots under this baby tree, and he chewed off the bottom of the baby tree, killed my baby tree. It's hard to grow these baby trees. That tree was already like 2-3 years old. These are very slow growing trees. I don't know what kind they are. This thing is 5 years old and it's only 7 feet tall. Him and his brother winding it up there together. Show you a couple more moss patches. Nice moss patch. Some weird sticks I find in the woods. Very weird. This is Grandma Crude. That's what I call that stick. Here's another moss patch and another animal. If you see the brownish dug up dirt, some animal is eating my moss. I have no clue what it is, probably a skunk, but I haven't seen it. And I got just a little more moss to show you. These here are wizard sticks, if you can see them. One in the middle is called Gandalf. One on the left is called Satan. And the one on the right don't have a name. They're nice wizard sticks. Just find them in the woods. No magic to them as far as I can tell. Here's another Freedom Lawn concept. This pile of weeds, which were fall flowers. And they're really nice. They look nice. People do this to their lawn with bought things where they make a really nice bush type thing growing. So of course I let this go to seed, and it does not want to let go of its seeds. It holds on to them like crazy, but it also loses them. And underneath is an area I'm not going to mow because this is like a little bush shaped thing. I will shape this in the fall and stuff, but these green patch of weeds I'm pretty sure are from the seeds of the taller dead plants. And I won't mow this, which means I don't have to mow as much. And we'll see what it grows into. I might chop at it a little bit if it gets out of hand and doesn't look pretty. But I think it's going to look very pretty. We're just about done here. This is an area that kind of needs to be mowed. It's the dandelion garden again. There's a pretty little stick. So, that is pretty much a Freedom Lawn. Hope you enjoyed it a little bit. Oh, I left out my grapevine. I told you I would do the grapevine. These are more cemetery flowers. They're pretty. I didn't plant them. They just blow in on the wind because I live near a cemetery and people like to put flowers there. It's really nice here for them because the grapevine, as you can see, looks like a dead bunch of sticks, but it will be completely covering this spot in the fall, and those flowers would get no sun. So these flowers get all the sun they need in the spring,